Hi, Dr. Paul Haider here. You know, truth is very healing. There is absolutely no doubt about that. We have our brain, and then we have mind, which is consciousness, which is everywhere. We have even done studies showing that, entangled matter changes at a distance of billions of miles. One set of cells can be here, and we give it electrical shock, and it'll be here billions of miles away, it could even 20 miles away, it'll react at the same time, a piece of that cellular material. So we are this entangled matter, and scientists have just come up with the fact that there is nothing but consciousness. Is a new mathematical formula which has shown that everything is consciousness. I mean, I'm consciousness, your consciousness, every wall is consciousness, every rock, every pebble, every drop of water in a river or the ocean is consciousness. So there is nothing but consciousness. And this, we also see that there is this expansion of that which is spirit, which is maybe that which is consciousness also at the same time. And so this truth aspect is really important for healing. And if we need to heal, we have to go back to the very basics of understanding our truth. You know, take for instance, you have a little baby, and you're that little baby, and you're laying in your crib, and every morning your mother opens the curtains and she picks you up and lovingly caresses you and gives you kisses, and so you automatically see light and love as coming together as one thing, and you look forward to seeing that light as a little tiny newborn. But take for instance a tiny newborn which has a mother which is not very happy, comes in, opens up the curtains, and smacks the little kid automatically for going to the bathroom in her diaper, and or him in his diaper. He goes in the bathroom in his diaper, so she smacks him. So every time that curtain opens, that little kid gets a response of, "Wow, I see light, but I'm afraid now." Yeah. Or something else happens. Every time father gets home or mother gets home, I'm going to get in trouble. So we have these automatic responses going on in our body. Or every time we go to see grandpa, or grandma, we always get a treat, and we associate these things. So we start building these layers of truths and untruths around us. And what is truth? That is a very complicated thing. But it is truth that actually sets us free. You know, they say all healing has to do with the placebo effect. Even Dr. Herbert Benson at the Harvard University, he's a cardiologist, but studied a lot about the placebo effect, and also about meditation and the relaxation response. And he said all healing has to do with the placebo effect. Well, if we believe something deeply enough, we start this cellular change within ourselves. But actually, it starts at a higher level. Other than that, it starts at a level of consciousness. And I perceive that all consciousness is changed at that point. It's just like a monkey, learning to use a rock to open up a coconut. And a few minutes later, all the monkeys in the world perceive that their ability to use a tool to open up a coconut. So all that consciousness is learning at the same time, and we're all part of this consciousness, as we now know through this new physics that's out there. So it's about us learning to heal ourselves, to come to a place of greater understanding. And stress plays a large part of that. If you're the little kid that gets smacked every morning when the curtains open up, boy, you're stressed from the very beginning, and you're going to be stressed from the very onset of your life all the way till you get to the death's doorstep. Whereas the other little kid is going to have his ups and downs with stress through his life. but is not going to be at a high level of stress all the time. This person with a high level of stress all the time is going to be probably have a shorter life and going to have a lot of havoc as far as, you know, disease coming in. And we have some silver bullets to get rid of the stresses in our life. And one of them is meditation. Meditation has been shown, even with neuroscientists, to be able to get rid of all kinds of diseases and actually change over 4,500 genes in our body. Is that pretty amazing or what? We can actually change genes in our body. We can shut off bad genes, turn on good genes, and everything is totally different just by doing meditation. It's kind of like, you know, you have a woolly mammoth chasing you, and you're a Stone Age being out there, or man out there, you're hunting, and all of a sudden this mammoth is boom, boom, chasing you. Your heart's pounding, you got cortisols and adrenaline going like crazy, and you throwing spears, and it's not doing any good. So you climb up a tree, and that mammoth is pushing on this huge tree, but eventually he gives up, and because he's mad at you, he finally gives up and he walks off, and you get down. But you've saved yourself because you ran fast. But if you have this little kid, which is responding to the light and getting smacked every morning, this woolly mammoth never goes away. Absolutely never. Until we have some great expansive awakening that happens. Maybe that happens through some experience that we have in our life where we learn to forgive, forget, and move on. And if we finally forgive our mother and see that, you know, she had her own traumas she was dealing with, and she had her own woolly mammoth that was chasing her all the time, and then all of a sudden things are different. It doesn't excuse what happened. It just means that we forgive, forget, and move on. And then the cortisol levels come down, the adrenaline levels come down. We also see that the cells start to working correctly. You know, they start dividing correctly, and we also see the different organelles within the cells working correctly, and the antibodies proliferating, and red blood cells and white blood cells working correctly, our T cells working correctly. And so truth is very important. And so, you know, I know a couple people who are on death's doorstep right now, and a lot of it has to do with eating. One man in particular refuses to eat any kind of vegetable or fruit, and that's just it. He just refuses. And you ask him about it. Oh, I eat fruits and vegetables. And you look at his plate every time. He's got a bunch of carbs and some meat, you know, maybe of any kind, and that's his whole plate. And then you go to his house and you look in his cabinets. There's nothing but sweets, and there's carbs, and his freezer's full of meat, and also there's a lot of alcohol around. And then you ask him about it. Oh no, I eat lots of vegetables. So there's really not a lot of truth there. Even his own family, which some of them are doctors, he's not willing to look at the light, look at the truth, you know. And then so there's really nothing we can do with this person except for pray for them. People like that. It's until they allow themselves to see the truth, and then they can change what they have going on. And a lot of that has to do with our past. Some of it has to do with karma also. We have karma from other lives which has to be played out. But we can change that karma by, you know, doing things like saying the name of God, which is over and over again, which is very powerful. And that can undo our karma. Also doing acts of love and helping others who are suffering, that undoes our karma. And then we allow ourselves to build up this karmic, you know, positive side in our bank account. And then we allow ourselves to find this great peace. And then we learn to do things which are loving and kind to us, which is a truth love and kindness and truth, and our light, which is loving and kind to our being or our soul. And then we allow ourselves to find this place of contentment. And that contentment has nothing to do with pleasure or happiness. Those are fleeting things. This has to do with a place of being truly content at all times. I'm good here right now. And then everything changes. But we have to get to that place of being in that place of contentment. And one of the ways I see that is through doing meditation and doing like the Vipassana free meditation retreat, which is 10 days. And you learn to be a whole different person by the time you walk out. I've seen it over and over and over again. I do 2 hours of meditation myself every day, one in the morning and one in the evening. And it has changed my life. And it will change anybody's life, because instead of having the turbulent waves of what's going on with society and family members and all this different stuff, rolling through our heads, we find this place of contentment. And so the mind and the spirit work together. The spirit helps to bring about contentment of the mind, and it's no longer in turmoil, and it's no longer in turmoil in the body. So basically we have this higher self, which is that great consciousness, which is out there, which is everything, and it is at total peace with, you can call this the love of God, and it's never ever upset. We could equate that to being inflamed. The love of God is never inflamed. The mind may be inflamed at times, and that influences the body to become inflamed. And then we lead to disease. Could be it cancer, be it diabetes, be it arthritis, be it, kidney disease and whatever. All these things multiply together to create different understandings of the outcomes of disease. So it's important that we allow ourselves to find that truth within. And sometimes that's a lifelong process, and sometimes it's a multiple lifelong process. Sometimes people don't allow themselves to see the light and the truth until they've reached a certain amount of understanding. When we can break free of all the thinking, we can break free of all the agitation, we can break free of all the inflammation that we've caused in our life, we go outside to this higher realm of consciousness, and we find ourselves in a place of total contentment. And there we find nothing but love. And that's exactly what we need. Total, unconditional love. And I love you. And you can find my contact information down below. Now my email is there. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me. My phone number is there. Also my website's there. And if you care to make a donation, the link is down below. I greatly appreciate that. And if you want to subscribe, that's really wonderful. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And I love you.